ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert.
Roundtablers, we are here at the beautiful Star Child rooftop at the Civilian Hotel. It's got a really great vibe. The sun is shining right on us, so we're a little excited about today. We're all rested up from the weekend. We hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I know I did, because guess who got married? This guy, Robert and Darius. Congratulations. But we are here for Duke and Roya with Jay Ellis, Stephanie Nur. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We can't wait to bring this to you. Thank you again to the press room, because they're amazing and we love them. And stick around, Roundtablers. We've got a lot of people coming to the table to chat with us. Have a great day. I am here on press day for Duke and Roya with Stephanie Nur and Jay Ellis. Hi guys, how are you? It's nice to see you again. We did see each other at the Lortel Awards. Yes. Now we're here. So, and it was funny doing my research. You speak 4 different languages. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And your dad.
He was in the Air Force, yeah.
Yes, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what was it about these roles that you were like, this is what I want to do? Because you've both done major films, television, and now a play like this. What about it spoke to you?
Oh gosh. Well, I was super honored to even be asked to do theater. It's always been a dream, and New York theater was like always the ultimate, the pinnacle that every actor just dreamt about. Back home in Europe too, we always knew New York theater. But specifically about the role, I just never read a role like this before. When I read the script, I was like, oh my gosh, she gets to do this and this and this, and there's all these different facets to her. I mean, it's a dream role for any actress, because it really is like she has many arcs and just a very deep layered character that is exciting to, grip my teeth into.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. What about you?
How do they say it in Europe? No, I mean, for me, this was, there were so many things I think that hit for me on this. Obviously, my father was in the Air Force, and I've done a USO tour before myself, so getting to play this artist who is at this place in his life where he's kind of lost and doesn't really understand himself, I think, I don't know, the character immediately jumped off the page to me in so many ways, because I think it's part of the artist's journey at some point, is you don't fully understand the impact that you may have. And I think also too, from a human level, I think so many of us want to be seen and have these other layers that we don't share with people and we don't show people. And for Duke, he for the first time gets to do that with Roya. And I don't know, there's something about that I love. It's fun, it's flirty, it's heartwarming, it's heartbreaking, it's dangerous at times. And I don't know, it's just a fun journey to go on. And then to come do it here, like Steph said, in New York, at the Lucille Lortel, during the summer, after so many amazing productions that have been there, and with Charles Randolph-Wright, and with Warren Adams, and with Noma, and with Dariush, what else could you ask for?
And when speaking with them earlier, they said, it is a love story, aside from everything else going on, and that it took so long to, this idea came from a book, and then it was like, I want to do this and I want to put it out there. And I think in today's culture and everything going on in the world, I think it's important to show that different cultures can coexist, and that love can come, and that you can leave learning something new about people. I think that's so important, especially nowadays.
Yes,
and especially for women.
True. Yes, 100%. And I mean, we play characters that can be seen in a very boxed sort of way, and I think we break that. And I think through love, we bring a lot of people to empathize with these characters and these human experiences. And I hope that they walk away from it, discussing it and feeling heart broken and heart flutters from it. And it's just so beautiful to be able to tell a love story like this. I think we need more love stories, and I think we need more love stories from opposite parts of the world, because that's what's going on right now. We live in a globalized time. Everyone's mixed. Everyone's living in places where they're not from, and we don't talk about it enough, and we don't see it enough in a depth and complex way. I think there are more productions coming out like that, but ours is, I gotta say, ours is specifically special. Yeah.
But that's what's so important, because it needs to be seen. It needs to be talked about.
Yes.
And it is normal. It's not
Yes.
everybody's like, oh, no, it's normal. We're human.
Yes.
And you said empathize. Empathy is so needed, you know, and I think it's important for, you know, even couples to come see this and be like, wow, that's us up there, you know, to take that.
100%. Oh, I have friends that I know like have to come see this because it speaks to that cross-cultural love stories and what we discover from each other through that. I grew up in a cross-cultural home. My father's Austrian, my mom's Syrian. I was born in Egypt, so it's a very very close to home sort of arena that we're playing in. Yeah.
I love that. And now there's music in it. Naturi was telling me,
Now
she's
there's
like,
music.
now
We don't know where
there's
it came
music.
from, but we showed up to rehearsal.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you guys to see this. I've been saying to
so
everybody,
excited.
everyone's gonna want the soundtrack. He's so good in this. I was like, okay, Jay.
Showed up to rehearsal with 3 songs, and now we got 5.
No, we got 5. That's how good he
Now
is.
we got
kept
5.
adding. They kept adding.
See? But
Yeah.
that's because of you.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think so. 'Cause,
It's a lot of fun. I will say,
And Ronvay's brilliant.
yes, Ronvay, who is composing and even writing lyrics, has been absolutely amazing to work with, you know, obviously with Charles and with Warren, and it's been a lot of fun. I rap the same 5 songs to myself multiple times throughout the day, in the shower, on the train, walking to the train. But it's been a lot of fun, even to like find that, like, you know, I like to think of it as like a bop, of like a swag, as like a little bit of, you know, what's that energy of that persona, because so much of it is persona.
Right.
You know, when you talk about some of those performances, and so I think about like, what is Duke's persona and what is that performance, and how does that then lead into the actual performance, right? And so it's been fun finding that, and being able to engage the crowd, I think, in a different way, in a way that I think is going to be very unexpected, actually, in our story.
Yeah.
I don't think people will expect those moments to come when they do, which I think is also a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I love that, because, you know, everyone, a play, it's just a play. It's words and speaking. But I think with the music, that's going to bring more people
Oh
in.
yeah, and it's fun. It's exciting. Like, we really take the audience on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be dancing in their seats and crying and laughing and all kinds of all spectrums of the emotions. And what's really great is our director is also a choreographer.
Yes.
So the way that he has us transition between the scenes is very it's its own dance and play, and how he moves around the stage and owns the stage and is a very physical actor. It's been really inspiring to watch you work. It's true. It's true.
It's inspiring
It's
to watch
facts.
you. It's been inspiring to watch
It's
you.
facts, not compliment. It's a fact. Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited for the both of you. I know you when we met on the carpet, you were like, "Oh, this is coming up," and now it's here, and now we're in rehearsals, and that's got to be exciting. So I was asking everyone in the cast, what is something that you do to get ready before a performance like this? Anything you especially want to share? Because we have a lot of young people that are aspiring, that watch the podcast and everything. So I like to ask, you know, seasoned actors what they like to do, or something, you know, you could share.
I think it's different every time. I think load up on your vitamin C. Make sure you're hydrated. Connect to your voice. Drown out the outside noise. Bring your headphones or whatever, and just stay present and focused.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's drown out the outside. How do you find your focus? How do you find staying present? So creating a space, usually with headphones, but creating that space for yourself. For me, it's body and voice.
Yeah.
How do I get into my body? How do I warm my body up? How do I get into my voice? How do I warm my voice up? I think those are the big things. And then I think the rest of it for me is like when you're actually in the work and thinking about the work, it's like so much of it's all very physical for me.
Right.
Like whether I'm touching, whether I'm tapping, whether I'm lifting, whether I'm moving. Like, so I think it's like constantly going over those moments and understanding why my character is doing those things, and letting that in some ways inform the words, and the words in some ways inform the movement, and all the other things. And so I think it's always kind of, you know, finding that balance.
I love that. That's wonderful. Well, Roundtablers, you've got to get your tickets to go see Duke and Roya please go do that to see these wonderful, wonderful people. And if I just so my cousin Robert on here, he just got married on Sunday to his Darius. They flew in from Detroit. We had a wonderful wedding in New Jersey, and it was just wonderful. So he was like, but Tuesday you have press day. I was like, yes, I will be there. I will be ready. I recovered yesterday, but it's just, thank you both so much.
So congrats.
Yeah,
Yes.
congratulations.
We love you guys, even though you can't be here. Thanks. No. But thank you guys so much. Congratulations. Good luck. And I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, I am Noma Dumezweni, and I am playing Desiree Anderson Duke in Duke and Roya.
Hi there, Dariush Kashani. I'm playing Saeed Hafez in Duke and Roya.
So, when this came across your desk, what was your first inkling when looking at it, and what about this particular play spoke to you?
Well, first and foremost, my connection is with Charles Randolph-Wright, the director. I met him over 10 years ago in London when he was directing Motown, and I was in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child at the time. And he invited me to this reading of a play about a young rapper and an interpreter from Afghanistan that he meets as he goes on tour. And that's the play that you are going to see. But what I love is, like 10 years later, me and Charles meet up for a catch-up drink and says, would you be up for coming to do a reading of the play with me? And I go, oh, that play, yeah, that play. Yeah, I'll come for a week just for a reading. Oh, it'll be lovely. I fell in love with the play because the expansion of the story, the expansion of the characters, from what I remember to now, it felt so present and so prescient in terms of how we connect, how the world is. And it's kind of like a memory play as well, and which is what I really love about it. And watching, so in the workshop that week, I met Dariush, I met Stephanie, I met Jay, and I fell in love with them. And Warren, most importantly, I met the director, Warren Adams, who I'd never met, had never seen, and I went, oh my God, we've got so many connections. We're both South African history. He's been here for a long time. We both came into the world because of our creative lives, so grateful. But that week, working with all of them, I was like, this is a lovely play. I think I want to be part of it. I just want to be in this experience. Yes. So I'm excited.
When the creative team is there
Yes.
and it speaks to you, that's when you're like, this is going to be good.
And then how everyone works. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the creative team can do their work, but as actors to feel involved is a huge and very fundamental difference. Yeah.
Now, how did it come across your desk?
Well, I just got a phone call. I got a phone call, and somebody said, so I just want you to know you're all set for the reading, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have no idea. But anyway, it was a lovely surprise because I read the play and I was like, how did he come up with all of this? And then when I walked in the room and I met everybody, I was very, very, very excited and obviously impressed because Jay's fantastic, Stephanie's fantastic. This one is beautiful. She gives a beautiful performance.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
He's not so bad either.
Thank you. But there have been many plays about that part of the world, about that region. Never one with a love story at the center of it. Never one where you get to see the parents. So that is, for me, very moving and also very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think in today's climate, as I was speaking with them earlier, it's these types of stories, these different stories of different cultures need to be shown in theater. And I think that's one of the best ways to see it, because when you go and you have that experience and you can learn something new and learn about new things, I think that's so important.
My version of that, if you don't mind me butting in, is I did a production of A Raisin in the Sun years ago in London, which I absolutely loved. I'd heard about this play for ages, the great American theatre, and then I understood why it was great theatre, full stop, not just American theatre. Because it does that thing, a family, you meet your family, and it's the most domestic little chamber piece play, this family. And because it's so specific to that family and their experiences in the world, it becomes this universal thing. So what Lorraine Hansberry taught, it just magnified everyone's human existence and experience. And it doesn't matter what culture, race, experience you're from, your humanity will tap into it. And that's what I love about, exactly you say, stories that show what is perceived as the other. And what does that mean in this day and age? We're all human beings right now, and all of us have so many different cultural... I always liken it to a meadow field. A meadow field is the most beautiful field that you're going to see, because you've got all different types of flowers and this and that. But if I just see just tulips in one row, and if I just see roses in another field, they're nice.
Right.
They're nice. But when you see them all mixed together, and that's what story is for me. How can we get all these stories together?
Right, and I was also sharing that one of the first things, and I was so proud, I was able to travel. My other job is I'm a travel agent. I sell
Love
travel.
that.
And my first trip out of the United States was to Morocco.
Oh, wow.
I worked for a travel agency many moons ago, and he said, he goes, I want to send you. I want you to know, because I was
What
just
the world
doing
is.
little administrative stuff, and he says, but I want to send you. I'm like, I can't afford this. He's like, no, we'll pay for it. I said, I have to ask my mom. And I went, and for me, it opened my eyes. Because yes, living in this area is great, but to see how other
people.
cultures are, you appreciate so much. And I think this story...
Have you been to London since?
I have not.
Oh my
no.
God! Okay,
No.
because that's another
I know.
experience.
Well,
'cause
we're going to go, hopefully.
Yeah, hubby. Let's sort that one out. I'm glad I can affirm it for you. You must do it.
Yes,
okay?
we must
because
go.
again, it's whatever, and it's interesting you say Morocco. You kind of go also different parts of Europe, and everywhere in the world has got a thing that is theirs. Like we are all individuals.
Yes.
You go, oh, what's your way of dressing? What's your way of dressing? And I love that culturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that's why these types of stories, they need to be told. And that's what I love about theater, because you can just... Movies are great too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Mate, love a movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
but there's just something about
and also the
theater.
immediacy of liveness and communication. I call it the commune of being in a room of theatre. When those lights go down collectively, we're all together, and we're off, but we're all here together holding the space.
Yes.
And I also have to add, which we keep adding, the music is fantastic.
Oh.
And Jay is smashing it, playing this young rapper. I mean, I'm looking in rehearsal going, I love that. I
Now,
love that.
We have a lot of young, soon-to-be people in the theater.
God bless you all.
Do you have any show rituals that you happen to do before you go on stage? Anything in particular that you can share?
I take a very long nap.
Do you?
I do.
Do you all the time? Do you? It's good to know that.
A nap is important. I am here with the creatives for Duke and Roya. How is everyone doing? If you could just introduce yourself. Oh, that's fine. If you could introduce yourself to the Roundtable.
I'm Charles Randolph-Wright. I am the playwright.
Hi, I'm Naturi Naughton-Lewis. I'm a co-producer.
I'm Warren Adams, and I'm the director.
So how did the three of you come together to create this wonderful piece that will be on Broadway?
Well, he created it.
Oh, it's like it's divinity. That's the word. There we are. I actually wrote this several years ago. I was a resident playwright at Arena Stage. There were 5 of us. And this was a project that I had read a book about. That something that happens, and I literally couldn't sleep. It's something that I just kept thinking about and then wanted to do. And I started writing it when Warren and I were in production of Motown in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And so, during tech, when you're sitting there, I was writing about Afghanistan. So there we are.
What are the odds, by the way, from Motown to how did that happen?
Well, what's interesting is that's a great question. But if you look at what Motown did and was responsible for, the work they did during the Civil Rights Movement, Barry Gordy recorded Dr. King's speeches, which at that time was not done. So I think that kind of work is just within our ecosystem. It's not foreign to us. But I remember, sitting next to him during tech, and he's not somebody who typically types a lot. Like, he'll go and do a thing, but he's not somebody that hangs around the computer. And he was just there all day, and I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm writing a play. And I asked to read it, and he let me read the first 20 pages. And I was like, ooh, this is interesting, this is good. And it stayed with me for a number of years. And he did a production in DC, which was like his development process of the first version. And then last year I just asked him, I said, my exact words were, what are you doing with the play? And he goes, nothing really. And I said, can I run with it? And that was last September. And here we are.
Here we are.
He did a marathon with this. It wasn't like a little sprint that he did. And this was, I think as an artist, there's a project that gets away from you. And you have to learn how you put it away until it's time. And this was that project, because now I realize 12 years ago when I was working on this, when women in Afghanistan had no rights, they have fewer rights now than they did then. And I think our job as an artist is to be global, is to heal, is to do that. And as you were talking about Barry Gordy, Motown was a movement.
Yes.
And I think of our work being that the people will touch, because especially as Americans, we're so insular, we're so in our world and not aware of everything around us, and that we must help each other, and especially now.
Yes. Oh, especially now. And we do, I think, some live in just a bubble and don't realize and don't get to travel. And my side job is I'm a travel agent. And one of my first trips, 16 years old, my mom was like, I'm getting your passport. I was working at a travel agency, and they did group trips to Morocco and Egypt. And my boss said, good old Joe, said, I'm going to send you to Morocco. And I was like, I'm 16, I'm a junior in high school. And I said, Mom, she goes, and he said, I will pay for it. She goes, I'm going to send you. How could you not have that experience? And me doing that, I learned so much, just living in this area, and then to get to go to Morocco and see, especially as a woman, seeing women, in burqas, and then seeing women in business suits. It was an amazing experience. So I think it's important. And
it is.
How did you get involved with this?
Yes, well, actually, by way of, again, Warren. You can't say no to Warren Adams, just being honest. No, I mean, obviously, as an actress, we worked together on a film that came out in Tribeca, 88, and then our kids go to school together, and we just connected on just as artists. And after doing a number of workshops, plays, and he told me about this, and he sent it to me, and he had been kind of telling me for a year, like, no, I'm going to do, this play, and it was called something else, I think at the time, Love in Afghanistan, and then Duke and Roya, and I was like, oh, I love that. Duke and Roya just simplifies it. But when I saw how simple and how diverse the story was, and when he told me Ellis and Stephanie Nur, I was just very excited to become a producer and a part of this, because I believe in theater. I was a theater girl too, and that's how I got my start as an actress, was on Broadway in Hairspray. So it changed my life, and I want other people to get that experience, to see, people that look like me coming to the theater, people that look like Stephanie, women of different cultures. So to me, it's representing all of us, and it's an American story. It's not one-dimensional. So I was excited to be a part of it.
And I think that's so important, especially now in our climate of today, where you need to see these different stories of different cultures, of different people, that we can all be together. And yes, it is different, but we need to educate and learn, because we're all different, but we're all the same, we're all human.
Right.
And particularly women, I think, because this is such a kind of a story that I think aligns with, interestingly, what's happening with women's rights right now. Like you said, rights are being taken away even more so now than they were when you were writing this. So I think because I'm a woman, I gravitate to those kind of stories, and I want to advocate women like Roya and be that voice, because we all have a little bit of her in us, and I think that's what makes this play special.
I want to say, I think that what Naturi just said is the reason I reached out to her. Is, she's a phenomenal actress, but I also know that she's very passionate about the stories, especially those surrounding women. And I think Roya is arguably one of the most exciting characters to enter the American theater. She's, vivacious. She's a fighter, but at the heart of the entire story is romance. It's a love story, and a love story with all of these things happening around it. And of course,
love, right?
and it's I know it's reminded me of romance, but it's also, it's the kind of thing that it doesn't matter where you're from, which part of the world you're from, which part of the city you're from, you will fall in love with these characters, and you will fall in love with the story.
I love that. And when I see the name, it's like, oh, like Romeo and Juliet. That when I saw it, that's what drew me to it. And I said, but this is a different story. This is a different telling. And like I said, I think it's so important to do that. And that's why with theater, you can do so much, even if it's just words. It doesn't always have to be music, but sometimes just seeing that, it can affect people in that way. Because when I see theater, that's what happens to me. So that's why I love live theater.
But theater is the only place in which the audience participates, because an audience will change each show. Every show is different because it depends upon how the audience responds. What's happening in the world? I mean, oh my God, dear God, if they look at the news that day, they're going to have a certain feeling when they walk
That is true.
Right? Every single day.
Every single day.
And you bring that into the theater with you. The actors feel that they're the next piece.
Right.
It's the missing piece. Being in rehearsal now, we don't have that next piece yet. That happens when we're in previews, and what that means. And just that we have a different perspective. I've always luckily I've grown up that way. Like Warren, he and I both at the same age studied in London and lived in London, and it just gave me a whole other view of the world. This little kid from South Carolina going to London was not in the stars, but I guess ultimately yes, and how we connected and just what this means, and to have especially people who are from this world particularly to say, I've never seen these characters. I've never seen relationships like this. I've not seen this on stage is disappointing to me. It's thrilling that we're doing this, but why has it taken so long? And hopefully, always, I love knocking down doors.
Exactly.
And I hope that this does this, that this is not the only play.
Yes, I love that so much. Thank you all so much. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see it.
These two are the best.
Thank
To
you.
have them do this, and when I talk about, especially that I say he did this marathon, his vision of this is unreal, and I have so much joy. I mean, working on this, and it's not. Some of this is not joyous, but you have to have the joy in the room to be able to do something.
You need that
that's not
enthusiasm, that
And
charisma.
he single-handedly made this a dream. He really did. It
I
really
love
is.
that. I'm so
It's a
excited.
dream come true. True that. Yes.
It's for me the most important thing is it's called a play,
Right.
and every day we get to play.
Yes.
Like it's Charles says it's been a very long time since we have felt this way and worked this way, and it is extremely exciting to come to work every day and knowing that something new could possibly happen. And I mean, we were working till 11 o'clock last night. Writing a new.
On
it was
the
writing
holiday.
a new scene.
Right,
Yeah, on the holiday.
And
I know.
that's you don't do that
There's no
like if
holiday.
you don't have the passion, if you're not having fun.
So true.
Right.
So it's extremely exciting for us.
Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Can't
you for
wait for you to see
stopping.
it.
Yes, we're so
Yes.
excited.
Hear the music in it
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I just have
Oh,
to
yeah.
like
It's a
shout
play
out.
with
It's
music.
a play
With
with music. I just want to
Okay.
shout that
Get
out
ready.
Yes.
because that's also another little surprise that I think a lot of people won't be expecting when they come to the Lucille Hotel Theater. I'm a musician too, so when I hear the music that Ranve, who's doing the music, it's incredible. I've only heard snippets, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this what we're doing? We've taken the play game to the next level.
I love
And he had
that.
a very difficult, the two of us telling him what to do. It was not an easy mission he had in creating what he did. And when someone literally takes that and takes it to the next level, that's what he's done. That's what the actors, oh my God, that's what they're doing. So, yes.
Thank you
Thank you.
again. Make sure
Thank
you
you
go
very
see
much.
Duke and Roya.
Yes.
Get your tickets.
Yes.
Thank you all so much.
you.